Good day, everyone. I am Desiree is Aragones, one of the reporter of Group 5, and we are assigned of Literature of Visayas. Visayas is mainly part, but we are tackled about the Western Visayas literature to sample literary pieces. The beginnings of the Western Visayas literature talks its roots from its epics and folklores. Along with that, Western Visayan literary tradition was already flourishing even before the Spaniards arrived in the Philippines. So when we talk Western Visaya, literature Visayas, Region 6, Western Visayas has very rich literature. It is commonly known as Payanon or Hiligaynon literature, consisting all forms of literatures from the island of Panay, Iloilo, Antique, Capiz, Aklan, and even from the island of Guimaras and Negros Occidental. When we talk about Hiligaynon is the lingua franca of the West Visayas and Central Philippines. Politically, level Region 6, West Visayas is composed of the provinces of Iloilo, Capiz, Antique, and Aklan on the island of Panay. Negros Occidental, the western of half of the island of Negros, and the new island province of Guimaras, which is used to be a sub-province of Iloilo. The mother language of West Visayas is Kinaraya or Hiniraya, the language spoken by the central and northern towns of Iloilo. All of the province of Antique and the most of Capiz, Hiligaynon is spoken in Iloilo City in all the coastal towns north of Iloilo City, in all of Guimaras, in most of the Rojas City and the Capiz, in in Bacolod City in the most of the towns of Negros Occidental. The language is also known spoken of the South Cotabato, in the Mindanao, where many Visayans the migrated. The northern towns of Negros Occidental speak Cebuano or Sogbanon. Bali yun yung ano nila yun, yung lingwahe na ginagamit nila. The lingua franca of Central Visayas, the province of Aklan speaks Aklanon, which like Hiligaynon developed from Ginaraya. Yo language use. Though distinctly different from Hiligaynon, Ginaraya and Aklanon are conveniently considered by many linguists and literary researchers as subsumed in the lingua franca. Current writers in Akinaraya and Aklanon have shown that is not so. Purely oral West Visayan literature before the coming of the Spaniards as was in Kinaraya, which must have been the language in folk literature of the Tin Bornean Datus who, according to the folk account of the Maragtas, got the island of Panay from the aboriginal auntie and exchange for a headgear of gold in a necklace that touched the ground. Folk literature ranged from brief riddles, proverbs, deities, ritual chants to elaborate love songs, tales, and extensive epics. A poem is called Binalaybay. That is the poem called Binalaybay. And the tale is the Astoy or the Suliganon. That is the call of the tale of here literature. The Paktakon is a riddle while the Hurubaton is a proverb. Both are usually in two lines are and rhymed. Folk song may be as simple as the ili ili or lullaby, or as intricate as the ambahan, a long song alternately sung by a soloist and a chorus. The Saidi, which can be a long poetic just between two paid poets respectively, representing the two families in a marriage song. Siday or pamalayi, or a balita or just love song in a debating manner by a man and woman. The same may be legend or tale about the folk hero or local happening. For most among the Pana effects are the Labaw Dunggun or Nilawod. Excuse me. Ritual chants are delivered by the babaylan or healer to please the diwata or supernatural beings or spirits in exchange for good health and luck in the home, in the fields during planting and harvest season. The coming of the Spaniard in the conversion of the people of the Christianity produced new forms of folk literature. Written literature also started first with translations of Spanish texts of prayers, and the lives of the saints, tracing their origins to the Spanish times are the Loa, the witty quatrain recited by the loser of the Bardon, the most popular game during the Bilation or Vigil for the Dead. In the composer for the ballad, the sings the life of a folk hero or a significant entity. Religious literature flourished during the Spanish time. Flores de Mayo is a devotional song prayer held throughout the month of May, characterized by singing hymns to the Virgin Mary and offering flowers. The Passion, which recounts the suffering of Christ, is chanted during the Holy Week. The Gozons of the Novena, the 9-day devotional prayer of a Saint Stresses, Christian virtue for or recounts incident in the life of Christ and Virgin Mary. All is part of the feast on the honor of the patron saint in the coronation of the Fiesta Queen. The local poet, the deliveries, the pagdayaw, and extensive ode praising of the Queen's beauty and the virtue. Purely circular is the corrido, actually a medieval romance brought by the Spaniard. Most popular corrido in which Visayas is Rodrigo de Villas. Two, two theater forms developed during the Spanish time. The Moro Moro is full of the action but is no more than a morality play celebrating by the victory of the Christians against the Moros. The zarzuela is the musical but later made a vehicle for the subversive activities. The establishment of the Infanta de la Panayana and the Iloilo City late in the 19th century by Bicolano Mariano Perfecto engineered written Hinilaygon literature. So he is the engineer who has the written for the Hinilaygon literature, which is he is Mariano Perfecto. He is the one of the writing of the Hinilaygon literature. With his passion, novenas and corridos, Perfecto published Almanaki, Panayan Almanac, the all-time Hinilaygon bestseller. Almanac, which published literacy work Most of the early Hiligaynon writers is still being published today by the Perfecto heirs. The coming of the Americans saw the so-called golden age of the Hiligaynon literature, even if the orientation was still heavily Spanish didactic and Roman Catholic, through strongly nationalistic. The relatively short period from the 1920s, the coming of the Japanese is considered the golden age. This produced Angel Magahom, first novelist for Benjamin, poet Delphine Gomban, poet Serapion Tori, poet translator from Spanish Flavio Zaragoza Cano, essayist, journalist Rosendo Mejica, Jazero Master Maria Ingala and Jose Maria Nava, playwright. So this is the writers and the part translator of the short story of the period of the 1920s. This one. The Landoni Museums Gonzales is there was wrote about the Japanese on the 50th and the 60th, which saw two new novelists from Jose Iyap and Corrado Noves established of Yuhu magazine in Iloilo City by La Defensa Priest, and of the short-lived Kasanag Vigilosa publications give literature not only about alive but strong. Big names were Ramon L. Mozones. This one. The image of English literature, especially in the short story, became pronounced of the 1960s when Hinilaygon writers became aware of formalist guidelines like characterization, local color, and irony. The short story became popular while the novel with Mokanzen's Habiap Novera. So this is the writers and of Hiligaynon. The Color Revolution of 1986 is important milestones in the history of Hiligaynon literature because of the new management of the cultural center of the Philippines in the creation of the Presidential Commission for Culture and the Arts, which later the Philippines in the creation of the Presidential Commission of the Cultural the Arts in the later became the National Commission for the Culture of the Arts and the Writing. The new writers have been born. The CCP and the NCCA have become truly the people patrons of the arts by paving the way of the creation of the regional and the local councils, providing writers grants to writers of marginalized language, supporting workshop and publication of the conferring awards competition like their share, the feminine of the new writing. Most significant is the inclusion of the Hinilaygon short story alongside the Cebuano and the Iloco and the Planca awards in 1997. So the core revolution has the Visayas, the image of Kinarayan writing, the image of Aklanon, the image of the writing of the Filipino, which is the Visayan base, the ferment of campus writing of these languages, the emergence of multilingual writing in the region. And that's all. Thank you.